Oliver and Charlotte and the Midnight Sky Train. It was late evening when Oliver spotted something unusual from his bedroom window. A silver shimmer passed above the trees. He leaned closer. Floating in the sky, glowing faintly in the moonlight, was a train not on tracks, but hovering in the air, silent and dreamlike. "Charlotte has to see this," he said aloud, already grabbing his jacket. 10 minutes later, flashlight in hand, Oliver met Charlotte at their usual spot in the clearing behind her house. They both stared up in amazement. The train, sleek and blue with silver accents, was gently descending. It floated a few feet above the ground, steam curling around it like mist. A sign above the front car read, "Midnight Sky Express, next stop, Stars End Station." "It can't be real," Charlotte whispered. A door slid open with a soft ding. Oliver looked at her. "Well, do we get on?" Charlotte grinned. "Always." The inside of the train was warm and softly lit, with velvet seats and floating lanterns that twinkled like stars. The air smelled faintly of mint and cloud breeze. At the far end stood a tall man in a deep blue coat stitched with constellations and a top hat made of shimmering vapor. "Welcome aboard," the conductor said with a bow. "We don't often have passengers from Earth." "Where does it go?" asked Charlotte. "Where it's needed," he replied. "Tonight, we're bound for Stars End Station, but to reach it, I'm afraid we'll need your help." "The final path is broken," Oliver blinked. "Broken how?" "There's a missing bridge, one made of light, and only dreamers can rebuild it." The train began to rise, floating above the trees, above the clouds, up into the sky. Towns shrank below them. Stars twinkled overhead, and the world looked like a sleepy painting beneath a glass dome. They passed strange floating stations, one shaped like a spinning teacup, another like a glowing carousel. The train whooshed softly until it entered a thick, foggy stretch of sky where everything turned quiet. "This is the drift zone," the conductor explained. "To get through, we need the constellation map restored. It's been scattered for years." He opened a velvet case filled with glowing puzzle pieces, star tiles in many shapes and colors. Oliver and Charlotte sat at the glowing table and began sorting. Charlotte studied the fragments. "That's Orion and the Big Dipper." They matched star patterns to stories they knew. Oliver misclicked a tile once, and it let out a tiny sneeze and vanished in a puff of stardust. Charlotte laughed, and the remaining tiles shimmered as if pleased. One by one, they rebuilt the sky, constellations of explorers, dreamers, and mythic animals. When the last tile clicked into place, the ceiling above them melted away, revealing a living sky constellations pulsing with light and swirling into alignment. Outside the window, a glowing path of stars appeared. "The Bridge of Starlight," the conductor whispered. "You've done it." The train floated across the bridge, through shimmering night air, and gently pulled into a final platform. Stars End Station. It was beautiful, all glass, crystal, and moonstone. But something was wrong. The air felt still, too still. "The sky's not turning," said the conductor, leading them toward a tall clock tower at the end of the station. The north clock, the one that keeps night and stars in motion, has stopped. Inside the tower, gears and wheels sat frozen in place. At the very center, a giant celestial gear was missing. "It was stolen long ago," the conductor said sadly. "Without it, the stars will slow, and sleep will never quite feel right again." Oliver and Charlotte looked at each other. They didn't even have to speak. "Then let's find it," Charlotte said. A soft, blue trail led them through a shadowy passage behind the station. The path curved through mist and silence, growing darker with each step. Shapes began to form, shadow creatures, made of swirling smoke and whispering doubt. "You'll never find it. You're just kids. You'll forget the way." Oliver gritted his teeth. Charlotte reached for his hand. "They're only fears," she said, "not truths." Oliver pulled out a tiny flashlight he kept in his backpack. He clicked it on. Not very bright, but enough. The shadows hissed and backed away, and the blue trail brightened. At the end, they reached a pedestal floating above a pool of starlight. There, resting as if waiting, was the missing gear, silver, ancient, and glowing from within. Charlotte lifted it carefully, and the mist around them began to lift. The path behind them cleared. The shadows melted like dew in the sun. Back in the clock tower, they placed the gear into the center. It clicked once, then turned. The gears began to move, slowly at first, then steadily. The room filled with the sound of spinning metal and soft chimes. Outside, the stars resumed their drift across the sky. A wind swept through the station. The world exhaled. The conductor's hat drifted upward slightly from the breeze. He smiled and tipped it to them. "You've turned the stars again," he said. "Tonight will shine because of you." As a thank you, he gave each of them a star token, a small coin that shimmered with moving constellations. "If you ever see a train in the sky," he said, "just show this. It will stop for you." The midnight sky train gently descended. The clearing appeared below, peaceful and quiet. They stepped out, and the door closed behind them with a soft chime. The train disappeared into a ribbon of light across the stars. Oliver looked at Charlotte. "Do you think it was real?" Charlotte held up her token, which glowed gently in the dark. "I think the stars think it was." And far above, high in the clouds, a train whistle echoed once through the midnight sky.